Zeb. The first question I have is, does anyone on the planet call you by your full birth name, or are you Zeb to everyone?
Do people call me Zebulon? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's in your Instagram bio, but I didn't know if somebody calls you Zebulon and like, it's like, don't ever call me that.
No, I don't care. I like it. I don't think anyone really calls me that name actually, unless like they really know me, or like I don't know, it's like an occasion. But
Well,
yeah, I'd say if anyone, my mom does every once in a while. I think that's about it.
well, it is a cool name from a cool person who's making history. And we were connected by the wonderful people at Red Bull. How exactly did the collaboration with ASAP Ferg happen? Was it through the Red Bull folks?
It was through Red Bull. It was through I think it was through Burton, and I think they were hooking up his DJ. Actually, so his DJ actually reached out to me like I want to say 4 years ago now. We're going on 4 years ago. Just kind of coming up. I think it was the year before I got on Red Bull. Um, yeah, his DJ actually hit me up and just offered, like, invited me to a show in North Carolina, and I didn't really know much about them. Or like, he just hit me up on Instagram. And was like, hey, like, if you're in town, like, you're welcome to come. And we've kind of stayed in contact since then. And just like kind of followed each other on Instagram, but I haven't talked to him much until I heard about his ASAP Ferg shoot. And then I went out there and met him, and we actually had a really good time together. And then actually at Recharge, before we went up to Recharge, I went to the LA Bird store, and I guess TJ Mizzle, who's Ferg's DJ, he actually, I guess he was in that store, and they were showing him a Burton movie that had a ASAP Ferg track in it, and they really jived with that, and like it kind of made the whole thing happen. I think that's what I heard.
Yeah.
That's a big story.
How long did you have to keep that story a secret? That hey, I'm going to be hanging out with these guys, and we're going to be filming something. Was that something you had to sit on for a couple of weeks or a couple of months?
It was for a couple of weeks, more or less. I'd say like probably like just under a month. It wasn't really like I had no idea what to expect or how like literally I didn't know if we were like literally gonna be hanging out with him, or if like if we were just gonna see him for a second or what the deal was. It was pretty like there was no details given out until like we got there. So I really had no idea what to say. I was just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm hanging out with ASAP Ferg like in a few weeks. I didn't want to get my hopes up. I guess it was gonna be like anything like not that fun or like anything. I just, yeah. So
well,
that's yeah.
From what's been put out into the world, we know that you taught them how to snowboard. You also had some relevant discussions about what's going on in the world in general. But did you feel comfortable outright teaching people how to snowboard? Are you comfortable with the idea of teaching in general?
Yeah, I'm super down to teach. I like love seeing people progress and stuff in general, and I think it's fun to teach too, because I like don't do it too much. So I feel like I'm learning how to teach while teaching people how to snowboard in the first place, if that makes sense. So I think the experience all around is fun. I think since they're like so kind of like high up, I didn't really want to like push them around and like be like no, actually do this like you're doing it wrong. We just kind of like let them go and do their thing and like gave them pointers and such. And yeah, it was super fun.
Are there any other things that you would feel comfortable teaching other people on? Wakeboarding? Are you just a natural teacher in general?
I guess so. I think I don't know if I'm the best teacher, but I just like enjoy it, or like I have like no problem like trying to teach someone how to do a sport or like snowboard, skateboard. But I think it's fun to like. I just really love seeing people progress and like have fun.
Did I read correctly that you and Lil Uzi Vert might be meeting up, or that you have met up, but it's just not out in the public yet?
if anything, that's from Becky's side. I think we've talked about it a little bit, but it's like the ASAP Ferg thing. I don't know what's gonna happen, so I can't claim it. But I mean, I don't think it's too far fetched.
Well, that's actually an interesting thing about you. I find, if I can stereotype athletes, athletes generally want to talk about things before they happen. And there's always that room for disappointment for when it doesn't happen. But you just seem very modest and realistic and grounded so that you go, hope for the best, expect the worst, but really hope for the best.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, you know, when the best does come out of it, it's like, oh, this is good. It's like, yeah. So.
Are you with that in all facets of your life, or is that specifically to the athletics?
Only stress over travel and stuff. Really, I feel like. Other than that, I'm like pretty grounded on like all other aspects of life. I feel like pretty comfortable in my own skin and everything. Mm-hmm. So
that makes sense to me. Now, the sports that you're most associated with are really an anomaly from all other sports. It's different conditioning, it's different lifestyle, it's different hours, it's different everything in general. It's acceptable in your sport to have endorsements, whereas in other sports, you don't want to be public about your endorsements. So one of the things I just mentioned was the conditioning. How exactly do you stay in great shape in your sport?
I'm actually like one of the lucky ones who doesn't have to do much conditioning. I'm like kind of just naturally built like around my shoulders and like have strong legs. Like my base muscle is like enough armor to protect me from injury. However, I'm starting to work out more and more. I haven't done it yet, but I want to get a personal trainer within the next year or two. So I'm gonna just start like honing in on like health, nutrition, and muscle gain, and yeah, just like keep my body in shape and stuff.
So the answer is not, I just drink lots and lots of Red Bull and you should too.
Totally.
Well, either way, again, thanks to the Red Bull team for connecting us and all that. So one of the things I read about you actually on the Red Bull website was that long-term as a creative person, you hope to be filming a lot. Does that mean that you hope to be producing films and documentaries in the future beyond the snowboarding realm?
I guess it'd be cool to explore that. I mean, just like creating content on my snowboard and stuff. I'm not amazing at landing runs for slope style and such, so the filming is kind of where I thrive because I have a lot of cool ideas and can put together a lot of cool lines on my snowboard, but it takes more than like 3 tries for me usually. So it's like, and also my snowboarding is really spontaneous. So if you just point a camera at me and go down the mountain with me, you're bound to catch something crazy. So that's kind of why I thrive off of filming and stuff. I think that's where a lot of people like watch me. It's from my films and stuff. It also shows in person. It's just like doesn't really translate to contest films because falling is usually points off. However, when I fall, it's kind of really fun to watch somehow. So
sure.
Yeah.
And then in terms of creativity, do you have other creative outlets besides what we just spoke about? Like, for example, would we know that you're a writer, you aspire to be an actor, you write lyrics, anything like that?
Actually, I don't really have any creative outlets outside of snowboarding and skateboarding. I really enjoy music though, so I think it'd be cool to connect with artists and maybe like create stuff in the future. I don't really know how to go about it, but I think that would be cool to explore. I've never explored that side of my personality, so that would be cool to explore.
Interesting. Where I was going with that is I find that a lot of people who are successful in a field, their hobbies have nothing to do with that field. They kind of like to do the exact opposite when they're not working. So, for example, the singer Alice Cooper, I don't know if you know who Alice Cooper is. He's a big golfer. And you'd go, hard rock, heavy metal guy, golf, those have nothing to do with each other, but that's what he does. I didn't know if you had hobbies that were the exact opposite of sports.
No, sports is where I thrive. I'm not a really good rider in the first place, so it's hard for me to like sit still and focus in the first place. So it's like I'm kind of like that's why I move around. That's why I'm really good at snowboarding and stuff. I think that's kind of where my brain's wired to be instead of sitting down writing stuff.
Sure. Well, two quick questions, and then you're a free man from this interview. And this first question, I couldn't figure this out about you in Googling around and looking at your social media. And that's, do you have a favorite TV show at the moment, or a show that you could recommend to other people who need a new show to start?
I just started The Office, actually. I just watched The Office all the way through for the first time about, like, this winter, pretty much. Throughout this whole winter, I was watching it, and I'd say that's generally my favorite show right now. Yeah, The Office. I really like the show Letterkenny too. It's on Hulu. I don't know if you know it, but that's a really good shows. I don't really watch that many shows either. I feel like I'm always like either listening to music or on Instagram or snowboarding and skateboarding. That's like all my life consists of.
You're too busy actually doing stuff. I guess we could say.
Yeah.
You're busy going around the world and working and keeping up a good positive image. What can we say? And my last question for you, it can have as much promotion as you want, whatever you want it to be. Any last words for the kids?
I don't know if you I don't know, I think my thing is I feel like I had a rhyme for it like a long time ago. I kind of forgot it, but I don't know. If you're really into something, you should pursue it and stick with it. Because I think I don't know. I'm thriving off of what I love. So if you find something you love, you should thrive off of it too. And be able to do it as a job.
Well, actually, one quick question related to that. When exactly did this go from being a hobby to a career? That was one other thing I couldn't figure out. And you just mentioned if you love something, you should do it. And you were doing it.
It's kind of crazy how it happened. So it started as skateboarding. Actually, I was a skater before I was a snowboarder. And I was kind of like leveling up pretty fast in skateboarding. And then my skate park shut down, so I ended up snowboarding. And then I was just doing that for fun from like 8 to 12 probably.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a reference to go to school. And my parents didn't want to send me, but they were like, this is what we gotta do. It's like, he wants to do this. So they asked me if I would want to go to school and like pursue snowboarding. And a hobby when I went to the school, but it was kind of like a hobby with an end goal. And once I went to that school and started snowboarding every day, it kind of faded into a job, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just naturally, because I kind of got to sharpen my skills and be exposed to the real snowboard world. And it took me in from there and turned into a real snowboarder.
And the rest is history. Well, thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to all your future projects, even if you're not going to tell us until after they happen.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Paltrocast.